Alright, so this is the Wraith ARS radar system. You get to this by pressing F5 by default. You can change it, but I still have it mapped to the default F5. When you press that, you'll get the remote here. To get the radar system down here, you'll just hit toggle display. And then to get the plate reader, you'll click plate reader and then toggle display. Toggle it off and on. You can also set a Bolo Plate if you find a vehicle that you want to put out a Bolo for. You can do that. You can hit set and then clear it as well when you're done with that. So we've got the plate reader, which will read plates from the front and from the back, and you can lock those in by default by pressing 9 for the front antenna and 6 for the rear antenna on your number pad. And you can use that to just, like I said, just lock in the plate if you find one that you don't want it to change. You also then have the radar here. When you toggle it on, toggle the display, the power will be off. So you have to click the green power button here, and it will turn it on, and you'll see hold on both of these here. Currently, it's not going to be picking up any radio information. So the first thing that you're probably going to want to do is change what your lock speeds are, and what that means is when you hit a certain speed, let's say that your lock speed's set to 65. If the radar picks them up at 65, it's going to lock that speed in so that you have proof that they were doing what speed it picked up, and then you know how fast they were going, and you don't have to worry about forgetting or anything. So you can cycle through your radar menu with this key here. Fast on is what you're going to want. That's going to enable your fast speeds, which is just essentially the further of the two. So it goes off of your antenna. The closest proximity to either antenna is going to be the yellow boxes here, and the further ones away are going to be your red. So you want fast on so that you pick up extras. This is the sensor. You can increase or decrease the sensors for the radar. So if you want to pick up from a little farther away, or if you want to narrow the scope a little bit, and if you're in like a tight space. You've got same lane and opposite lane sensors. Beep is just the beep sound that you're hearing. Voice, when you hit a fast lock, you'll hear front away, for example, and that'll be your front antenna going away from you. Or front closing is your front antenna and coming towards you. And it'll do the same for both antennas and both directions. Plate audio is just the audio of locking in the plate. Units, you can either go USA or metric. Fast lock on, that's the locking that I was talking about. Once you hit whatever your speed is, it'll lock that in automatically, and then the next one is the speed threshold. So I go off of whatever the speed limit says. Depending on what I'm doing, I don't always keep it at 10 over, because that's kind of dicky. That's kind of, I don't like to do that. But currently I'm 10 over for a very specific reason. We're doing some investigations in this area, so I'm looking to pull over as many vehicles as I can, so I set it for 10 over. But you can change it to whatever you want, so whether you're in the city where the speeds might be a little slower, or when you're on the freeway where the speeds are much faster, you can change the speed. And then that's it. So to get out of the menu, you just hit either one of the same keys here, and you'll go back to the main menu, the hold menu. Now, you want to set up your radar for how you're going to be running traffic control. So in this example, what I like to do is set my back antenna to same lane, and then I like to set my front antenna to opposite lane. And what that's going to do is I'm going to get vehicles coming towards my car from the back first, and then I'm also going to get vehicles coming towards my car from the front first, which just makes sense with the location that I'm at. Sometimes I don't run both antennas. If I'm, on the freeway, for example, and I know that I'm not going to try to whip a Yui on Sonora, so I'll just run the back antenna and just sit, in the middle or on the shoulder or whatever, and run radar there. But in this example, I use both. So back is going to be same, front antenna is going to be opposite, and then to transmit, you just hit these buttons here. And then you're running radar. That's it. So the other thing that I like to do is I'll run ALPR as well. Again, if you're running traffic control, then you're also looking for those kinds of things. So I'll run ALPR. Especially here, I don't tend to get a lot of speeders, but I do get a lot of hits on ALPR, and I'll use that to conduct my investigations. Like that. I think that taxi back there was technically invalid registration. So, but that's it. It's pretty simple. If there's any questions, then feel free to ask me. If you want more clarification on something, feel free to ask me as well.